Howdy, howdy, fellas. Got some War Tales today. It's the new PvE mode they've added. I'm running Einstein with the 50% credit boost just to kind of see how things go at Tier 7 Premium. I did some Legendary tier yesterday and did alright, and then I heard some rumblings that the credits get pretty spicy at Tier 7, so I figured I would give that a go. But making this video, I realized that I guess I was playing in normal mode all day today. I played in hard mode yesterday and honestly couldn't tell the difference, so I guess this probably would have been a little bit higher, but I don't know, maybe the ships have more health. I don't know. I actually had no idea how they're different. This felt exactly the same as the ones I played. Yeah, so here we go. AL Baltimore, one of my favorite ships. There's a dude on Reddit asking how to make the Baltimore work. AL Baltimore does have some slightly different characteristics. I believe it's slightly faster reload, slightly slower shells. I can't remember fully. But yeah, you can see how even against, some of these more heavily armored targets, a lot of these are quite squishy, but shells really do wreck the enemies. So yeah, one of my favorite ships. I generally enjoy kind of this whole US heavy line in general, and this kind of Tier 7 Baltimore and Baltimore-esque, Baltimore adjacent ships. I just enjoy. I like the gun layout, the firing angles, the general relative tankiness of the Baltimore hull. If you get careless, you'll certainly get slapped, and 16-inch guns overmatch it. But in general, it's tanky enough. I'll say that it's tanky enough to kind of do some of the things I want. So we're getting in here. I mean, honestly, the way these modes work, you can pretty much just send it. Like I've played each different mode. There's this one. There's the German one where you're in like the ICCs, and then the I guess like you're defending the Vanguard against an Italian Navy one. I think this one probably has the highest earning potential. It seems like there's the most ships, and then they just do this like sail broadside to you the whole time. But I think it's also the longest, so I don't know that it's the most efficient per time, but it's certainly like the most efficient per match if you're looking to maximize reload boosts, and maybe you can get a division together and pick which one. I think this is probably the most efficient one per game, but I think the British one where you're escorting the Vanguard is probably the fastest. This is the highest credit earning match that I've gotten, but on the that one I did have a match that was almost as high. And I think those generally are much faster. This one you just have to get all the way across the map, so there's only so much you can do to get there, but there are more ships, more stuff to shoot at, so I do think it's higher earning, possibly overall. Anyway, what I generally do in these is just sail forward, sail to the next objective, and just wreck the ships on the way, and try not to get hung up on the Neptune a little bit. That's one of the only things you have to worry about, is getting stuck on your teammates, because really, especially at higher tiers, these ships don't pose much threat. I did play a handful of matches down at Tier 5. I think I was grinding some tech tree ships. I think I like the Dutch cruiser one. And actually I found that a little more difficult. You just take enough damage incidentally from the HE from the other ships. Like, they're not hitting you hard, but just over the course of the match, like, it adds up. So I felt that one was... There were definitely moments where I was like, oh, like, are we actually going to pull this off? But in the end, we did, no problem. It didn't help. We had a California that was shooting HE at like 2 kilometers away from ships the whole match. But hey, everybody starts somewhere. So yeah. So just to go back a little bit to talk about the benefits of the AP on these ships. The Nagato is not the most heavily armored battleship in the game for sure, but you can see even without any of the buffs, we're getting some pretty hefty whacks on it. We do get some shatters, if you hit that actual belt armor instead of the upper belt armor, it will shatter shells, but you got a pretty comfortable margin, either the nose, stern, or that kind of upper belt. The Baltimore will pretty comfortably penetrate those, but this is what we're looking for, these cruisers, man. Baltimore just absolutely wrecks cruisers. I love one of the reasons that I specifically like the Baltimore, like that, in regular matches, but also in this kind of matches, your firepower is forward weighted, so you can keep moving forward, keep a low keep your ship narrow, while keeping 6 of your 9 guns on target, and I think that's really beneficial on ships like the Hipper that have 8 guns but are, you know, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. You give up a lot of your firepower if you are only showing your front, and, you know, I like being able to keep the guns shooting, regardless of my position. It also has decent firing angles if you're kiting away. Not amazing, but decent enough. So yeah, here, we just keep going in. We're just going forward. I've only stopped or slowed down like a handful of times, dodged a few torpedoes. I think they do reduce damage in this mode, so we're not trying to eat them, you know, when we don't have to, but we're just trying to get in the caps, pick up any of the capture experience and credits that we can. Just keep going, keep going. One of the things that I have done in this is, you know, oh yeah, like I don't have any buff. That's just like that's just Baltimore. That's just Baltimore against Nagato. Like, it hurts. Yeah, that's I keep double checking that I don't have the damage buff up. That's just plain old American AP against a relatively lightly armored battleship. You know, this match is fun. We'll see if they keep the credit earnings like they do. They nerfed it in Brawl. I was really bummed about that. I mean, I love the Tier 6 Cruiser Brawl is my absolute favorite. You can just go in. I like the New Orleans personally. I heard a lot of people like other ships or don't like the New Orleans, but man, the New Orleans is where it's at. I've got the New Orleans W now. Picked that up from a crate over Christmas. And so, yeah, premium earnings on the New Orleans, and that's I'm ready. Hopefully they do that again before too long. But they did nerf the credit earnings in that because you could just, man, you could rack up the credits so fast. This doesn't feel quite as extreme. You know, the matches are longer. The Brawl matches were quite short. You could have like 2-minute matches and make 400,000 credits or whatever it is. And it's still approaching that, but it's not quite as much. These, again, like you can look that we've been in here 7 minutes and we're not quite done yet, so this does take closer to an actual match, but you'll see at the end, like, the credit earnings are pretty good. As a temporary mode, I can see a slight chance they'll leave this untouched, but if people continue to play it kind of as much as they do, and it may be the kind of thing that people just don't have the stomach for it after a while. Sometimes that happens for me, even if it's great, even if you get a lot of stuff out of it. It's just not fun. Like, I just like the regular game. That's what I'm here for, so, you know, I can only grind credits for so long, even if it's... And this is relatively fun, but at the end of, like, look at this. This is a shooting gallery. I'm just... You know, practice your aim. That's one of the nice things about it, is you can kind of limit test some ships, and I've done some of that, but there's only so much you can do. These are AI ships sailing in a line. Golly, look at that. Now I do have the buff, but holy moly. AI ships sailing in a line, so it only has so much value. You're only going to learn so much from this just because they're... Oh wait, you know, this is reload. I got the reload buff. That wasn't even damage. Again, that's just Baltimore. That's just Baltimore damage. It's coming out faster. Yeah, I just got the reload buff. That was nuts. Almost death struck me. Anyway, sorry, got distracted. I love the Baltimore. What can I say? It's a great ship. Yeah, same general strategy. Just trying to be in front, trying to be as close as I can, trying to keep firing at as many ships as you can see, and hitting. That's all there is to it. Like, these guys aren't a threat to me. I've got, what, 3/4 health, still have a heal. They're not going to sink me. So just keep going. You can see on the Baltimore, you can get, yeah, like this, full pens on a pretty somewhat angled target. You do need to lead the shells a little bit further than you might normally. I am again picking up the aim point on the Nagato just a touch, just to try not to hit into the main belt armor. Yeah, shatters. Not my best salvo. I don't actually remember what I was doing there. Thinking about something. Wasn't really focused on that aim. Yeah, and a lot of the ships spawn in the same spot, so once you kind of play them once or twice, you'll see they spawn in the same spot every time, and so you just want to kind of keep yourself on, you know, on the approach to keep fighting the ships that remain and to head into the caps in the game modes that do have the capture points, because they count as capture points. So we're about to finish this off. We've got one pesky ship sailing by itself. Oh, you can also, maybe one further point, as you can see the rest of my team is kind of clumped up. I generally like to be not on top of them. You know, you get your own angles, you get your own ships. There's been a couple times you've seen that, like, I fire a salvo and then someone else takes out the ship right before my shells hit. You know, that's generally a thing that you want to avoid, because to make the most credits, like, you're just in a damage race. Like, you're just trying to do as much damage as you can, and so ricochet, come on. You're just trying to do as much damage as you can in the amount of time that you have in the match. So, hey, 53 damage, totally. Shatter, come on. What is that? Yeah. So it is what it is. It's a fun diversion. It's relatively straightforward. It's not rocket science. Just shoot the stuff that you see. Practice your aim, sure. But then the real magic happens over here. So we see we got almost 500,000 damage, sure. 2 million credits. Yes. 3,000 XP. Like, honestly, you can grind some tech tree ships in this, but yeah, 2 million credits. I got the guys. I've got, you know, the 2-star booster. Should have put a 3 on there, but yeah, enjoy it while it lasts.